Alrighty, firing up the live stream for another week. Here we go, here we go, here we go, and we'll see how we go. In fact, on this, it's actually warm. We've had unseasonably cool and very wet weather for ages. Okay, straight up. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort something on Facebook. And it's all good in the hood. Hi, Justin. Yes, it's definitely a wetter summer than normal, particularly on the East Coast. La Nina weather pattern. Plus side, lower bushfire risk. So, yeah, you know, got to try and look on the bright side. I'm just apologizing for the being okay. No, I just had to check something and sort it out. Hey, Annette, how's it going? Just checking something out. There's another. Well, it's not that new a shirt. You know, I'll do the thing where I move the laptop a bit further back to show. This is the first time I've worn this shirt on a stream. There we go. A little bit more. There we go. See, fabulous cocktails here. You know, I think that's not just hyperbole. I think I have pretty fabulous cocktails. So, just speaking of which, clarified cocktail. And I had a minor run-in with the anti-vaxxers on Twitter today. Just a few of them going, "Oh, they're over here." I'm just going, fuck off. Fuck off, you morons. So Justin, it builds the bushfire risk for years. Yes. That's the downside of the wetter than normal. You just worry about, okay, it's just creating more fuel for when we don't get the rain and it all dries out. Yeah. It's where I went on the weekend. One of the places I went to, Bass and Flinders. This is Angry kept the tasting notes cards. Did little tasting flights of gins and brandies. And yeah, I almost feel like I should have got some more. I did buy... Well, actually bought 2 bottles from this crowd. I don't really have enough shelf space to buy that many. But bought some. So I'm just trying to think of things to make because I got another cheap pineapple from the supermarket today. If you keep your eye out, you can get pineapples for $2 or $3 at the moment, which is a pretty good deal. So I'm going to make a whole bunch of things with, again, tepache and pineapple rum and a pineapple liqueur drink. Just think which rums to do it with. Just this feeling I might do it with the white rums I have. Justin, it's a safe bet. Climate change is creating more extreme cycles in the weather. More extreme storms, more extreme heat waves and droughts, more extreme floods. And then you get that weird shit with the polar vortexes, which is another byproduct of climate change, where areas get, because of changes in, I think it's the sea currents, brings blasts of cold air from the pole, which is not great. Just everything's more extreme. And need to rewatch Mad Max Fury Road for some future survival tips. Got to start a cult like a Morton Joe. That's the way to do it. Lead a cult. Yeah, 29 tomorrow and then turning into thunderstorms. Like, it hit 30 today. Let's see fun conversation topics. The weather, because I'm a bit obsessed by it. Yeah, a couple of days of 29, 30 or more. Only a little bit of possible rain, according to the Bureau. But Thursday, I think, is when it turns. And then it's much cooler on Friday. Volatile weather we're having. The weather, it's changeable. I keep thinking about trimming my beard. It's getting very long. My barber in the city might be open again. I can go and get a trim and a beard shaking. Or will I just go like full Santa, just keep freaking growing? And I'm not sure Mrs. Angry would be all that fond of this. Don't think this is the longest I've grown my beard, but it's getting there. It's definitely the greyest I've grown my beard. So maybe I'll go into the city, see if my barber's open. Poor bugger didn't lose his business during lockdown. And get my hair evened up and trim, because I'm really bad at evenly trimming my beard and shaping it. I always feel like I fuck it up if I try and do it, which is why it's grown so long, because I think I'm going to fuck it up if I try and shape it. But yeah, it's just the way that it is, basically. Now, I'm also thinking of maybe doing less live streams, where get to go out more, because the whole thing about live streams was keeping some sort of social interaction happening when we couldn't actually interact with people in real life, as it were. When I say less, I mean probably like one less a week, like not tonight, not Tuesday nights. Maybe keep it to the weekend. Maybe, well, it's normally like Thursday, Friday, Sunday, every second Saturday. So, yeah, I might do less live streams, keep them to the weekend, or the approach to the weekend. Then again, I might not. I don't know. Also, with Omicron, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows at all? Just imagine if we discovered Venus once had intelligent life, became a hothouse thanks to runaway climate change. Yes. I've heard that speculation before. I don't think there's anything to it. I think the makeup of the atmosphere explains why Venus is uninhabitable. But I don't know. Stranger things have happened. Probably. I don't know. That was a vapid and meaningless thing to say. Stranger things have happened. Worse things happen at sea. Oh dear. You see how many more old-timey platitudes I can say. It's really bright because we've last couple of weeks, even though it's been light when I've started the streams, we've had a lot of cloudy weather. So it hasn't been that bright, but it is very bright outside at the moment. The days are still getting longer for another month. The longest day is in 3-4 weeks. Let me double check. It's about 3-4 weeks for summer solstice. 22nd December. Almost exactly 3 weeks. Okay, just slightly longer than 3 weeks. Just before Christmas. Justin, many things were possible billions of years ago. Humans have no way of ascertaining with any accuracy what was happening billions of years ago. But you're right. It could be. It could be. Who actually... Well, no one knows. That's the answer. Okay, I turned the aircon on. It's already too warm in it, and it's already getting too cold. So I think I'm going to swap it back to the bedrooms, which get too hot. Hello, Abigail. You just got home. What exciting things have you been doing that you only just got home? I'm just going to go over here and switch off the aircon. I was worried I was going to get too hot in here, but just 20 minutes of the aircon being on made it actually chilly. So that seems a foolish use of energy. So I switched it off. So everything's habitable enough if you're brave enough. It's like, everything's edible once. Lava's edible once. You're not going to eat it twice. No. Just a question of whether it's a good idea. And of course, the concept of a good idea, very subjective. I've been speculating on the whole, do I want to do anything much on YouTube? And I've been having thoughts because I found a channel that's new to me, which really made me think things, because she just does the vlog style stuff, not daily, like about once a week on average. They're very nice, but they're so low key compared to the big name channels where everything's like jump cuts and smash cuts and fucking shit happening every 10 seconds, trying to compete with friggin' TikTok with 60-second bursts. So it's got me thinking, is what I'm saying. Abigail, you're a volunteer as a data coordinator for the Melbourne campaign for the Oz Greens. Tonight was a data entry party. Nice. Justin's got another fun scientific fact. It's been discovered men's penises are getting smaller worldwide. Sperm counts are going down thanks to plastic. Hashtag citation needed. I'm going to go out on a limb, Justin, and I'm going to say something controversial. That's not true. I'm going to say that is so tabloidy, grabby headline that I think that is almost definitely, and I'm not, you didn't make it up. I know you've read things that say this because I've seen them too. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it isn't true. That is so tabloid headline grabby that to me, absolutely reeks of the worst sort of science reporting from an isolated data set, people extrapolating way too much from an isolated data set and making big sweeping attention-grabbing statements for which there is not enough consistent objective evidence to say that's definitely true. I'm just throwing out. Neat! Nettie's invented a new cocktail. I want to hear about it. I was working on... grab my notebook. More influenced by Nettie, who keeps a notebook of cocktails. I've started keeping a notebook of things I want to do. I had it in the other room, so I was making notes. I'm just going to get it, bring it back. All right. So, also, by the by, St. Andrew's Day. We're in the tartan. Got my kilt on. Can you see? Yeah, see the tartan. It's my hybrid kilt, part utility, part tartan. And yes, Abigail, I would love if you showed off your mango syrup, which would mean giving you the link. So, Nettie's inventing 60 mils pink gin, Pavlova gin, 15 mils Sakura liqueur, lime juice, top up with lemonade. Okay, so that, I bet the reason that's good, that is actually following a classic template, by the way. I mean, you've topped up with lemonade, so you've made it a tall drink, a long drink, whatever people call them. But without the lemonade, you've got spirit, liqueur, and citrus. That's a classic structure. That's why it works. Speaking of things that just work, here's Abigail. And speaking of things that work, not Abigail's microphone.
I literally just said my microphone's not working.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So, hang on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I'm also getting big echo and noise and whatnot.
I'm
going to do the headset to work. Hey, Megaleech and Snapper, by the way. All right.
Okay, how's that?
That's brilliant. That's perfect.
Cool. Okay, cool. So, still good?
Yeah, all good.
That is, I've only filtered that once. There's a few floaters in there, and there's like sugar at the bottom, but that is mango syrup.
Nice. That's really
very thick.
Yeah.
And the mango is still. I've still got some. I got there's two mangoes worth of like the pips and the rind in there with a little bit of syrup and topped up. So I might put an airlock on that and put some yeast in there and make a little like mango cider experiment. Yeah. So Jesus. So just thought I'd show off, and this is very sugary, and I need to filter it again, but I'm sure someone recognizes the bottle.
Oh yes, the old-fashioned bottle. Nice.
Left at my place after Halloween. Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, hi Nettie.
What sort of sugar did you use?
I used raw sugar.
That explains the color. Yeah, it's a very nice color.
Okay. Yeah, and it's very mango-y. It's like it's absorbed all those flavors.
Yeah.
Really well. So it'll be good for refining further, I think.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, because I made a mango syrup with just I used the seed as well with one mango, and I used caster sugar, and it's much lighter.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
So
I didn't have any caster sugar on hand.
Yeah. Oh no, raw sugar is great in sugar syrups. It gives it a bit more character.
Yeah, so I don't know what to do with this yet, but I've got I'll make some plans.
Yeah, I mean, I got another pineapple today.
Oh, cool.
Pineapple less than $3. I'm like, okay, another round of the pineapple drinks.
I'm gonna get some pineapple tomorrow, I think, and try the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make tapache first, and I probably don't need to make any more syrup because I've got heaps of syrups that I should use up in the fridge. But I'm going to make another rum.
Pineapple.
Yeah, pineapple rum.
Cool.
So
cool.
I'll have tapache and then a pineapple rum liqueur. I mean, maybe it's crossed my mind. Pineapple tequila might be really interesting, actually.
Not usually a fan of tequila, but pineapple tequila could get me over the line. Hi, Nettie.
Hey. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Yes, no, Safa, pineapple's not code. Pineapples are really
is actual pineapple, yeah.
Mrs. Angry says because she read that the biggest buyer of pineapples was cruise ships, which of course isn't happening. So there's all these old pineapples that are really cheap. So Nettie, what did you buy 4 of? The old fashions, or fair enough?
I hate running out. It makes me very grumpy.
Yeah.
I thought for Christmas peace, it's best not to run out.
Well, I've been making my own. I've got a whiskey old fashioned in the bottle in the fridge and a rum old fashioned in the fridge.
Oh, nice.
They're both good. Along with my favorite, the Woodson and Ford, and still got the Infinity Freezer Martini, which is probably 6 sorts of gin in it at the moment, and 3 vermouths. So, speaking of which, what will I do? Rum or no? The whiskey old fashioned is within arm's reach. So, this was actually my Infinity whiskey at one point, because there's a generally held belief that when there's only a little bit of whiskey left in the bottle, you shouldn't try and save it because it oxidizes and loses the best parts of its taste. So people talk about doing their own infinity blend. If you're a bit of a whiskey collector and you get a lot of bottles that have a little bit left, do a blend of them, which I was doing, and it tasted quite nice. And then I decided I want to do an old-fashioned. And I was thinking of which of my whiskeys, and I thought, oh, why not just turn the Infinity whiskey bottle into an old-fashioned? And it worked really well. Made a nice sugar syrup with cinnamon and spices and whatnot.
Oh, that's what nice. I need to get. I went to my brother's farm over the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember coming in on our Discord chat?
Yes. That was very late, but I was just going to bed and I saw you still in there. So, okay, I'll check it out. But I took up a bottle of twofold.
Oh yeah.
And my brother really liked it. So
another convert.
He usually drinks bourbon, and he makes his own. What does he make? He started making his own cider, but I think he was making his own spirits for a time. And he didn't he's experimenting with cider, and it's not quite ready yet. He doesn't know what to do with all this cider that he's made that's almost undrinkable. So I just told him, just turn it into Applejack and
redistill it.
Yeah, and And it's like, what's Applejack? And I got to teach him that, and then I made him a drink with the twofold, and he's like, oh God, that's smooth. How much is that? And I told him, and he's like, what? It wasn't that. I got it on special, but it wasn't what he's used to paying for.
No. If
for
he normally
whiskey.
buys like Jim Beam or Jack Daniels, it's a bit of a shock.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's got lots of Jack Daniels bottles.
Yeah, it's like we're getting into some real shit here, buddy. And even
very nice person though.
Yeah,
Lovely thing to take to him.
Yeah, the good American bourbons are more expensive than twofold, basically. But yeah, if you've gotten used to drinking Jim Beam or Jack Daniels, paying 50% more, which twofold's 50% more. Nova's like 100% more. So that's a bit of a shock to the system. If someone, I'm used to paying $40 a bottle. What do you mean? I have to pay $90 a bottle. Like,
well, I went to a bottle shop in Ararat while I was there, and they didn't even have Nova, and they had twofolds, but it was like way up on the top shelf, out of the way. Obviously, they know their audience there.
Yeah, it's that for an Ararat pub. That's probably top shelf. Yeah. So it's asking what's Applejack. Applejack is basically distilled apple cider. The French version is Calvados. There's basically a bunch of apple-based spirits. It's an apple brandy. Essentially, Applejack is an apple brandy. So brandy is distilled fruit. So Applejack's an American name for it. Again, trivia. It's called. There's a phrase about jacking the fruit. It's when you freeze it. What they used to do is just put the barrels of cider outside in their sub-zero winters, and it would freeze. But the water freezes a long time before the alcohol. So they basically let 50% of the cider freeze, drill a hole, and drain out the now concentrated alcohol.
The ethanol, to freeze ethanol, you basically need liquid nitrogen temperatures like minus 200 and something. Yeah. So it's not going to freeze anytime soon.
No. So, but that's apparently super dangerous as well. It's how they used to. It's a very there's very poor control if you're freezing the cider like that, and you can poison yourself pretty easily.
Yeah, for sure.
But I read, actually, there's a really interesting article I read on one of the websites that I frequent, and they were talking about, jacking your fruit juice. They're basically saying do the same thing. Freeze fruit juice slowly, and it's like the water component of it freezes first, but don't let it freeze solid, and then drill a hole and drain it, and you get this concentrated fruit syrup comes out, which they say is a great mixer in drinks because you get a real punchy fruit flavor without diluting the drink as much. So I thought that was interesting, but it was also more trouble than I want to go to be complete.
Oh, my son says hello, by the way.
Pretty punchy.
Yeah. But as I say, that's maybe by pure chance, Nettie, but you've used a classic template for that cocktail. That's why it works.
I heard you say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Spirit, liqueur, and citrus. That's a sidecar or a margarita. That's a classic. That just works. Yeah. Doing that.
Yeah, combo. And I just put a little bit of lemonade in it just because it was a bit too strong. I put a little bit too much lime in it too, so I needed to spin it out a bit.
Yeah. But that's an easy thing to do. Just top up a drink with lemonade or soda or whatever.
Did you see my comment about naming it after Lilibet's favorite nail polish?
Yes, the ballet shoe, but it's not pink enough. I mean, you could always cheat. Yeah, there's always ways to cheat, like put a drop of red food coloring in or something, and there you go. Now it's pink.
Yeah. No, I want to put in a something that. A pink liqueur, because that would be legit,
Yes, but you dilute. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, there are a few. I've got a few liqueurs and whatnot that would color it. One of the marionette fruit liqueurs would definitely color it up. If you don't mind slightly bitter, something like Aperol.
Hey,
yeah, sorry.
I have to go. I'll be
Okay.
back in a sec.
All right, cool.
Okay.
So yeah,
Um,
Nettie, use something like Aperol that sort of is bright and lightly bitter, not too extreme.
I've got I tried the Pavlova Pink Gin.
Yes.
God, I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever find it again, but
Yeah.
it just happened to be on the discount shelf in the local
which drives a lot.
BWS.
Yeah, drives a lot of my purchases.
So it
It's
was
just
a good
like,
discovery.
Yeah. Particularly sometimes I've noticed
It tastes very much like ginny fairy floss.
Yeah.
Gin and fairy floss. That's what it tastes like.
So like
anyway,
the BWS
so I put
is
that with
good.
I put it with Chambord last weekend.
Yep.
And then I tried it with Marionette Myrrh, and it's really good. As long as you put the lime in, don't forget the lime.
Yes, that balances
Yummy.
it. The lime balances it. Yeah, and that's
Yes.
important because it's just going to be too sweet if you don't do that. You need the tartness of the lime to balance it. Bum Fungus, hello.
So,
how was my Woodson and Ford weekend? My weekend was very good, and I did not drink any of the Woodson and Ford. You missed out. I did do a stream on Sunday night. Mrs. Angry and I went out. We were in a place on the other side of the bay called Dramana. And hot tip, if you go out that way, there's a little bar, cafe, restaurant called Two Boys, as in Bouyes, with the ocean theme. Top place. Young, funky staff. They have fun with their cocktail menu. The food's pretty good. And Mrs. Angry and I, when we go out, we'll normally have 2 or 3 cocktails with the meal. We had 5 each that night, and we were just like, yeah, let's have another one. And so we rocked up at like 6 o'clock, and we thought we'd be there like an hour and a half. But because we kept having cocktails, we were there like 3 hours later. I was just like, so the idea of taking my bottled and Woodson and Ford, I thought we'd have a light dinner and then maybe have a couple of drinks in the hotel room. But we stayed out drinking, and I'm like, yep, back in the hotel room. I'm not drinking anymore. I'm asleep. So I've got a full bottle of Woodson and Ford cocktails in my fridge, which is A-OK as far as I'm concerned.
Sounds like a lovely weekend you had.
It was good. We went to a couple distilleries, the Bass and Flinders. They do gins and brandies. And I got their version of a slow gin, which they call Cerise. Mrs. Angry had with tonic earlier and says it's very good. And I ordered, they have a Christmas brandy. They didn't have any there, but they said we're bottling this week. And if you pay for it, we'll express post it to you when it comes out. So I might even have it before the end of the week. I had a taste. It's like Christmas pud. It's a brandy that just tastes like Christmas pud. And so I've been doing my Homer Simpson and getting eggnog, because we only get those 30 sweet noggy days before the government takes it away from us. So when I get this Christmas brandy, I am going to town with eggnog and Christmas brandy, quite honestly. So, also the other one was the Jimmy Rum Distillery, which I did mention, which is funny because they haven't released a commercial product yet that meets the definitions of gin. They've basically been releasing moonshines, like unaged cane spirits. It tastes fantastic. But it's very clever. They called their distillery Jimmy Rum. So when they release something and they give it a name that doesn't say it's rum, they're very clearly saying, like, this is a rum type drink. Like I've got Jimmy Rum Silver. So you look at it and go, oh, it's a white rum. And it's not. It's an unaged cane spirit. Doesn't meet the definition of rum, but it tastes fantastic. Like they had one thing on their menu they just called rum rum. I said, "What's that?" I go, "Well, that's the first one we've done that's aged long enough that we could, legitimately call it rum. So we just call it rum rum. It's as opposed to all our other ones." So I had a couple of tasting flights there. It was fun.
I just had a vision. Of us in a mini van, or a bus,
Yeah.
tiny bus, with us guys doing a distillery tour one
But
day.
you know what we could do just by jumping in taxis? Because we did a mini one. We went to when Kirsten was here. We went to Starwood and Patient Wolf. There's like 3 or 4 others. Like there's a couple places we could go over Abigail's Way as well. We could go to Brogan's Way, the Rum Diaries. I don't think Marionette has a cellar door. I'm not sure, but we don't even need a minivan. We could start. Let's go Starwood and Patient Wolf and
we can do that.
I think that's the thing we should do this summer.
Yes.
There's one in
Count
the
me in.
Yeah, there's one in the CBD in Little Lonsdale Streets. And it's in an historic building. They call it the Little Lon Distillery. They were going to have a bar open. I'm going to look it up because you can get their stuff at Dan Murphy's actually. They were going to have like a bar. I'm going to look up their website and see if they've got a bar open yet. Bar bookings. There you go.
Woohoo!
So yeah, join us for a cocktail. Okay, we could do Little Lon as well. We could go Starwood and Patient Wolf, and then Little Lon, and then head over Abigail's Way and go like Brogan's Way.
Patient Wolf is a 20-minute walk from my place.
Yeah, no, it's
cool.
It's great.
So we could start there, or we could end there.
We could go one direction or the other, basically. But there's you could do a line from Starwood to Patient Wolf to Little Lon in the city to Brogan's Way over Abigail's Way. And there's at least 1 or 2 other distilleries in the general neighborhood of Abigail. So there's a couple in your neighborhood, Nettie. There's a couple in Abigail's neighborhood. Yeah, we could... you could get a minivan and take it around the country ones or the perimeter suburbs ones, but they're the inner ones. They're the inner city ones. Mad amount of distilleries we can just visit. We've definitely got to do that sometime this summer. We'll work it out.
Hey, I have to go.
Interstate people can come too. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Yeah, bigger.
I have to go. Just chronic fatigue just hitting me.
Yeah, sure.
Just wanted to show off my mango syrup. It is very syrupy.
It is very nice.
I'll still be in chat, but I just need to.
But you need to get
zone out.
Yeah. Fair call. Safa, why did they take the nog away? I assume you're saying Safa. I was just quoting Homer Simpson with only 30 sweet noggy days till the government takes it away from us. It's actually just because no one would buy it. It's like a seasonal thing. And look, if the retailers, the way capitalism works, if they thought they could make money selling it all year round, they'd sell it all year round. But because it's associated with Christmas, people only buy it around Christmas. Ooh, Mega Leech. Sorry, Nettie, what were you saying?
I'm thinking with the tours, if we make them far enough in advance, people from other states may be able to make arrangements.
I'm thinking where I was on the weekend, we went to 2 distilleries, but there are more. I think we went to the 2 best ones, but there are a couple of other ones just out there on the Mornington Peninsula. There are a few on the perimeter of Melbourne. There are a few out in the country. Like I said, I mean, that was just off the top of my head. we could easily go to 4 distilleries without being more than one suburb out of the CBD of Melbourne. That's how many there are.
I know the Hunter Valley does,
Wine
they
tours.
run the wine tours. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sure there are. Yeah. I'm sure there are distillery tours. In fact, I think that we saw when I was with Mrs. Angry at these places on the weekends, there was some, groups of 8 to 15 people, and they were in a little bus, and they were going from, like, we were at one place, then we went to another place, and then we saw the same people who were at the other place, and it was like, yeah, that's the thing they do. So I noticed Megaleech's got the final Expanse book dropped today. He's already 9 chapters in. For sci-fi fans, I have not read any of the Expanse books. In fact, I've got a few other things. Now I've got a friggin', what do you call it? Audible subscription again. And that was for June Club. But I'm listening to various things on Audible. I might get the Expanse books on Audible. I don't know. I realize I've got to set times to listen to stuff. And look who's joined us. It's Nobody. How you doing, buddy?
Hi.
Not too bad.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Friends here.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see you. Now we can all chill.
How you doing?
It's oh god, I'm just seeing all these weird indications on my laptop. What's it doing? Fuck off. It wants me to restart. No, we're not doing that. Link my Android phone. I don't have an Android phone. Windows, you needy bastard. Back off. My God, it's what's happening in your world, Nobody?
My world. Usual shit, really.
You got surprised by the bod behind you. I saw it sneaking in.
Things sometimes.
Coming in to say hi. Nice to see you. Nettie.
Hello there.
Nice we had a nice day out today.
Oh, good.
We went to Cocoa Black and had chocolate ice cream there.
That's a good day out. Going to Cocoa Black is a good day out. I like that.
Yeah.
Damn.
And we bought masks, didn't we?
Oh, is that
Look at your mask.
Is that the skin treatment masks or a party mask?
A party mask.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
Shelley. I've been invited to a masquerade party, but then again, I'm not too sure if I'm actually going. So I popped into a party shop and had a look at their masquerade party. And she was like, "Oh, buy me this one, buy me this one." So she'll get it and she'll show you. And I'm sorry, I cut you off, Nobody. What were you saying?
It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry.
So what have I been up to? Well, past couple of weeks have been kind of had a bit going on. On Saturday, the church had its Christmas market. Quite successful. A lot of people came. Good community involvement. Lots of work to do. Making people like me. And then going, too many people like me.
We all like you.
Horrible time to I saw that this didn't have its cap on it. Shit. And oh no!
See, the musicians always like me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
well, I can
I'm the
understand
sound
that.
guy and I look after the musicians.
Yes, you're the sound guy. Yeah.
So, wow.
Oh, that's your classic long nose.
That's wow. That's pretty spectacular.
I don't know.
That's an Arlecchino. Musical Aviators had book on pre-buy. Yeah, I agree. No public transport commuting to work. I don't read anymore. So even with audiobooks, I have to set time aside. Like I'm working and going, okay, I've got to do a comparatively mindless thing for maybe a couple of hours. I can play an audio book and concentrate on it while I'm doing the mindless thing as well. But that mask is fantastic.
It's very cool. It's very
That's
cool.
something like
That, like, I mean, of the that is very much inspired by the medieval Italian commedia dell'arte, but that is a spectacular long nose on that. That's amazing.
I got a little cat mask.
Oh,
That's
nice.
cool. Cat mask is cool.
I've still got the thing on my teeth. Right, I'm running away.
Running away.
What else did I do? One of the more unusual things I did is made a DVD of someone's funeral because it was requested.
Well, as you do.
As you do.
It's one of the more unusual requests, but I get it. There are people who couldn't make it, and they wanted to, basically have the process, the farewell thing. And I'm reliably informed that the live stream that was run by the company was inaudible. So,
oh no!
So fortunately, me having sound directly off the desk means that is not an issue.
Nice. Yeah, but a memento, I can see why people would want that.
Yeah. So I won't hold up the DVD title because that would be disrespectful to confidentiality and all that shit. But a bit of grounds, mate. I mean, for the church market, there's a plover's nest. In the church ground.
Okay.
And so my roommate and I barricaded that off so that people wouldn't accidentally run over the eggs or kick them or whatever, or just upset the plovers. So that was fun because we're out there protecting the plover's nest while they're attacking us.
Yeah, no, plovers get pretty personal about that.
They're pretty. In fairness to them, they're actually really good about it. They only started attacking when we'd been there for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And they didn't attack me at all while I was taking the barricade down. So they're actually not. I mean, even when they did attack, they weren't hitting us. They were just swinging past.
They're just trying to threaten you.
Fly by. Yeah. Give me the odd. Yeah, how's it going? You can fuck off now.
Yeah.
Fuck off, cunt. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Where I was on the weekend,
13-year-old child.
What do you want?
Where I was on the weekend on the Mornington Peninsula on the beach side, there was a lot of there was plover nesting grounds. There were all these signs like "Don't walk up here, the plovers are nesting," and there were signs like "They'll swoop you because they're nesting."
Yeah, it's peculiar to me because they'll nest on the ground. I mean, how many birds?
Yeah, they're ground nesters. Yes.
Yeah, they're weird to me.
Yeah.
They seem otherwise smart enough.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's just nest on the ground. Yeah.
So what else have I been doing? There's oh, she'll hate me for this. I've been chatting online with a rather charming lady. Being a bit cheeky, actually.
Oh no!
A little bit. I mean, time was fun. A little bit of flirting, but just for fun, things that I do. Because I'm that smooth. I can make them blush.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's a cheeky man. He's a cheeky man. I was just looking at Megaleech in the chat. That was hilarious. Oh dear. Oh god, Megaleech, speaking of The Expanse, the next season of the TV show is about to come out. It's coming out in December, I think, which I'm kind of keen for. And I also did watch the first episode of the new season of Star Trek Discovery, for which I'm going to save my rant about the Kobayashi Maru for the next time Abigail has the spoons to come on camera, because that's a Star Trek thing. and I have a particular rant about it, and I think it would be fun to engage Abigail in a rant about the Kobayashi Maru, which is an old Star Trek trope.
I got her blushing too.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
But Abigail's easy.
Yes, Abigail. I did mention Star Trek. I watched the first episode of Discovery and enjoyed it. And I love how Michael got herself a captain's uniform that's made of leather. It's just like there's always slightly different uniforms in the different seasons of Star Trek. And Michael Burnham's just gone, could you do me a Star Trek uniform, a Starfleet uniform, but, fetish? Just give me a leather outfit to dominate my crew as the captain. I don't know if she's going to ask the crew to say yes, daddy, to her when she gives them orders, but she's got a real sort of dom outfit to sit in the big chair. So I'm liking that. But been doing the watching of various things with Mrs. Angry. Another classic book series, The Wheel of Time, has been turned into a series on Amazon Prime. It's pretty good because it's a fantasy thing. It's the books were originally written ages ago. I feel compelled to look it up. Novel series, The Wheel of Time, was published between 1990 and 2013. I think there's 10 books in the series. So,
So far, I have
it
not
started
voted for
30
the male
years
model.
But Safa, I don't know. See, I think you've also got going for you, Nobody, the voice as well. So you start an ASMR channel on YouTube or something like that.
Greetings. It is I, Nobody, here to put you to sleep.
It would work. People would go for it. Just 30 to 60 minutes of you saying gentle, reassuring things to people would
gentle, reassuring things.
That's why AZ wants you to be the narrator for the series he's trying to put together. But
yes.
Abigail, Jane.
I think we spent about 5 hours on online, and we probably spent about half an hour discussing the subject at hand.
Yeah, that's how it goes with that's how it goes with age.
Yeah. Consequently, I ran out of data on my my connection.
Yeah.
So now you've got a proper connection, don't you?
I upgraded my data.
Yeah. Sorry, that all sounds like euphemisms.
Costing me $90 a month now.
Yeah, that all sounds like euphemisms. You got a proper connection now, man? Yeah, I upgraded my data. It's like we're speaking in code. No, we're just literally talking about internet connection.
Yes, I've got that connection sorted. Thank you.
Yes. Abigail saying,
Carol.
Abigail saying Captain Janeway has Dom energy. I actually watched the first episode of there's an animated Star Trek series aimed at kids called Prodigy, and I watched the first episode of that, and it's not bad. I honestly think it feels more like Star Wars than Star Trek, because it's a bit more, particularly it feels like the Star Wars animated series. It's a bit more action, but it's definitely not bad. But yeah, they ended up with a Janeway hologram, but which is neat for oh god, my brain's just blanked on her name. Last thing I saw her on was Orange is the New Black, where she was like a Russian criminal who was in prison for life. But yeah, she gets to, be Janeway 30 years later because it's just animated. So she just does the voice. And it looks, like old school Janeway, which is a neat little cheat, quite honestly. I quite like it. So, Abigail, you didn't like the 4 kids feeling. I think that's because neither you nor I are kids. So,
That could be it.
and again, it was a legit thing George Lucas said, because anyone who's paid attention knows I am very down on the prequels, the Star Wars prequels that George Lucas directed. And I've not got seriously into the animated series. But to his credit, George Lucas did hit the nail on the head. He's going like, people who say they loved the original trilogy and hated the prequels, they were teenagers when they watched the original ones, and then they're in their 40s and they wonder why it feels different. No, the new generation loved the generation who came of age when the prequels came out, loved the prequels. And I think that was a fair point he made. But counterpoint, I like the more recent Star Wars movies way more than I do his prequel trilogy. If we leave out Rise of Skywalker, that third in the trilogy, that was embarrassing on a number of levels. But waiting to see what happens. There's a whole bunch of Disney series coming out next year. The Boba Fett series, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, probably another series of The Mandalorian. So we'll see. And they're going mad with the Marvel shows. Has anyone noticed how much Disney's just cutting loose? Like every other, like each quarter, they're like doing 4 Marvel series a year. The series runs for about 2 months, and then they have a break of about a month, and then another series starts. Like Hawkeye has just started, which is apparently a Christmas story. I haven't watched it yet. I've watched all the other Marvel series Disney has done.
The first thing I thought of was the alcoholic medic from MASH.
Well, see, there's a lot. The original Hawkeye is a character from the novel Last of the Mohicans, and Hawkeye in MASH is named after, his nickname is from the book Last of the Mohicans, and Hawkeye, the Marvel character, is the bow and arrow guy, and that is also echoing the Last of the Mohicans character, but he has his own series, and it's apparently a Christmas, because in the lead up to Christmas, it's a Christmas story. So that's looking kind of interesting, because in the comics, Hawkeye was actually replaced by a younger female character, and it looks like she's being introduced in this series. So that's kind of interesting. But Musical Aviator, I agree with you 1000%. The best of the Disney Star Wars movies is Rogue One. Fucking rocks. That is such a good movie. Because going into that, and again, spoilers for a movie that came out 5 years ago or whenever the fuck it came out. When it went into it, I was very excited because I thought, man, we don't know. This is a standalone movie. We don't know who lives and who dies in this movie. Like in the saga movies, you go, all the heroes are going to live. They're not going to kill any heroes. But this is a standalone. So you don't know who's going to live, who's going to die. Spoiler alert, fucking everyone dies. Everyone fucking dies. And I loved it because you got...
Spoiler?
Yeah, but it's 5 years old. At this point, I don't...
Okay.
Yeah. But it was gritty, like, Star Wars, all about galactic war. But this was not about, Jedi and noble bloodlines and anything. This was people down in the mud in the gritty war levels. Because, if you have a war, it involves a bunch of people where no one knows their names and they're not legends and they aren't heroes. They're just people who fucking die to get this happening. And stuff, I agree, very rewatchable. I want to watch it again. The death that really touched me, they were all pretty good. They were all pretty good. But the one, I don't know if it's about me, it's the pilot, the guy who was an Imperial pilot who defected and gave them some important information. And they're all down on this planet, and shit's happening, and they're trying to get a signal, and he's in the ship, and a fucking stormtrooper throws a hand grenade into the ship he's in, and he has like 2 seconds, and he just sees this hand grenade roll into his ship he's in, and he just like looks at it and goes, "I'm gonna fucking die." And then boof, that hit me, because he was a really traumatized guy, because Saul Guerrera interrogated him in a very brutal way that traumatized him as well. And he's helping everyone, and they're out there, and he's helping them get the signal with the Death Star plans and all that, and he's making shit happen, and this hand grenade just rolls into the ship he's on, and he just has like 2 seconds to look at it and goes, "Fuck me." And then it's just boosh. And that, when I watched that, that was the one that made me go, well, fuck. He's just like an ordinary guy who got caught up in all this shit. And he was putting his life, and he thought things were going to work out. And then he just watched this hand grenade just roll into the ship he was on. And he had enough time to see it. He just watched it roll in and went, well, fuck. And then it just goes, douche. And that was the one that got me. Like, the heroes go and all these people, all the deaths in it were good as far as I'm concerned. They were all emotional. It was all good and whatnot. But he's the one that gets me, because he's just an ordinary guy, and he's dragged into all this shit, and he actually has time. He's not doing anything heroic when it happens. He's sending a signal from his ship, and it's like, wow, I think things are actually working out. And then a hand grenade just rolls in, and he's like, fuck. Just to have enough time to look at it and go, oh.
To claw your way, like, away from the trauma, and then fucking hand grenades.
Yeah, because everyone else who dies in a really spectacular and heroic way, and it's really full on. And every one of the deaths gets me. Like, I'm one with the Force is one with me. That was beautiful. And the final thing with Cassian and the actual hero's name, what was her name? Anyway, but they go because the first Death Star just fucking blows them up, basically, and they see the shockwave coming, and they just have a little Christian side hug while they're like, well, we're gonna fucking die, aren't we? That looks really fatal, that blast wave coming towards us. But
I've just been watching I've just been watching a Spanish thing about Nazi hunters in Spain.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's been awesome, really. Like, the English dubbing is like, oh my god. But if you can handle listening to the English dub and the Spanish, it's more natural, and just read the stuff. It's great, it's amazing. And there's tragic ends for a few of the main characters, but it's only one season so far, but definitely looks like there's going to be a second season. What they're doing is trying to catch these really evil motherfuckers who have gone to Spain, because
which is the thing.
Which was a thing.
Fascists in control of Spain,
Franco was looking after them. So it's sort of set in the 60s. And there's a girl who was a child when she was in the camps. And so she gets recruited, and they're trying to catch them, not to kill them, although it is a very strong impulse to kill them when you find out what they've done. Very strong. Like, they really have to battle, and take them to Israel to be tried.
To be tried,
and it's epic, because you hear the stories that they have from the camps.
Yes.
And Oh God, it's heart-wrenching, some of it,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
amazing acting. It's really just amazing.
Yeah. There's a Nazi Hunter series on Prime that Al Pacino is a leading. It's just called Hunters.
Mm.
I've watched the first episode of it. Seems okay. It's very fantastical because the Nazis are in America trying to, basically revive the Third Reich, and various people
That's fantastic.
have formed a group to hunt them down. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get into the fantastical elements of it, but I've watched one episode of it. And thank you, Safa, Jin Urso. That was her name. Yeah. But also the other thing I love about Rogue One, Ben Mendelsohn as the fucking Imperial officer who's instrumental in getting the Death Star working. And he gets to talk in his own accent, which is beautiful because of course there are Australian accents in the Star Wars universe. They always talk in this weird pseudo English accent in the Star Wars movies, but of course there would be every accent under the sun. Like Cassian has that Spanish accent, and he's got his Star Wars series, which is like a prequel to Rogue One, coming out on Disney in 2022, which is very cool because Cassian is a terrorist. The Empire are the government. And if you are trying to undermine the government and overthrow them, you're a terrorist. And that's a thing they did pretty well in Rogue One, I thought. The rebels, in terms of the mainstream view, would be terrorists. And they would do quite extreme things in the name of overthrowing the empire.
One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
It's just two sides of the same coin. Dictator and terrorist, freedom fighter and dictator. It's two sides of the same coin. And I thought they actually did that quite well in Rogue One. So I'm quite keen to see a series about Cassian to see, because he was really traumatized in Rogue One. He was very traumatized because there's that one pivotal scene where there's a guy who has a disability and can't actually escape and he's giving Cassian some info, and they're about to be cornered by some stormtroopers, and this guy, because he's has a disability, can't escape, and if the stormtroopers get him, they will get information out of him. Cassian kills his own guy to stop the stormtroopers from getting him. And it's just, that's when you just go as hard as nails. And that's when you get this final thing where Jyn Erso says, I'm going to do this last desperate thing. And so you get a bunch of these guys who are freedom fighters, but they all say, we've done shit, fucked up things. And what you're saying makes us feel like we could redeem ourselves a little bit because we've just done a bunch of really fucked things in the name of the rebellion. And you're giving us an option to do something that makes us think it's all worthwhile. That's why I like Rogue One, because it's really highlighting the rebellion. They're terrorists by mainstream view. They are absolutely terrorists because they're using violence to overthrow a government. And again, it's a horrible dictatorial evil government, but it's all a point of view sort of thing. So,
well, when I was doing all that stuff for Operation Libya and Operation Syria and all that shit, they were getting, the Free Syrian Army were called terrorists, but they weren't.
Yes.
The Free Syrian Army was army who had turned against their government because the government had turned against the people.
Yes. Syria was a particularly complex situation. A lot was going on there, and it's funny, like people rightly mocked.
Say that again.
People rightly mocked Tony Abbott for his dumb line about it's not simple goodies and baddies. But someone who was more intelligent than Tony Abbott could say, look, there are a spectrum of factions in Syria, and there's some of them you can look at, like Assad, the dictator, is a fucking piece of shit. That's black and white. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But of all the various people resisting Assad, you can go, they're kind of grey because they've all done stuff that you look at and go, oh, wow, did you really have to do that? What the fuck was that?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that because actually it was really. I mean, I was watching it carefully because I was vetting all those crimes against children and crimes against humanity videos that kept popping up on YouTube, and it was pretty much Assad plus the motherfuckers he got from Iran. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Sorry, Iraq. Sorry, this is getting to me. And Hezbollah came in and helped, you know. And these motherfuckers. I mean, I saw them kicking around the heads of people who they'd killed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And making jokes about it.
No.
And
Yeah.
it was gross.
Yeah.
And I don't see the
that's pretty
kids
fucked.
who were rebelling, who were going out in the streets every night. Those kids weren't doing that kind of thing. It was
no. Oh, the black and white part of Syria is Assad's a fucking piece of shit. Assad is just fucking evil incarnate. But there is a spectrum of factions against him, and you can look at some of those factions and go, okay, that's cool. Oh, I'm not sure why you did that. And again, okay, it's a little while since I've done my semi-regular endorsement of the podcast Behind the Bastards, but the guy behind that, Robert Evans, he spent time in Syria. He had handlers. He got to meet what were basically anarchist collectives, and a lot of them were these women-led anarchist collectives who were, and it's fucking fascinating. What they were doing was amazing. So if you look up a lot of Robert Evans stuff about Syria, it's well worth exploring because he was actually on the ground and met people and talked to people. And it's amazing. So of all the
how did you get down there though? Like shit, that would have been hard to get down there and then get back again without being jailed for possibly being, the government would have.
Yeah,
every government would have gone, what the fuck?
Yeah. The sort of shit Robert Evans was doing, the Assad regime would have executed him if they could have got a hold of him. But he was going to all these little free, basically anarcho-syndicalist organizations that were doing amazing stuff. But the US didn't want to support that shit because it was anti-state, and Assad definitely was down on that shit because it was anti-state. But
I mean, from my perspective, and I can't say that my perspective was correct, but my perspective was that America was at the time wanting to get it. Obama was in charge, right? And Hillary was after Assad, which was just
Secretary of State,
and they'd made a mess. They'd made some compared to the mess of Libya, they made some really minor mess in there, and because of that, they felt that they couldn't go into Syria as well, on top of everything else, such as Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And they just weren't going to come and rescue them, even though the Syrian people were constantly every day going, come save us, because they kind of, that's how they relate to leaders. You're a savior and you're a devil.
I think when you talk about the making a mess, and they made a smaller mess there. That's like saying, well, the child only shat themselves a little bit this time.
Yeah, no, Libya was way worse. Like they again, Gaddafi, not a great guy, but after they basically fueled the overthrow of Gaddafi, there's like now open slave markets in Libya and just horrible abuses of human rights. And again, under Gaddafi, a whole bunch of abuses of human rights. But
yeah, to tell you the truth, like, I mean, I was running all these, I've heard these Facebook pages, for the whole Arab Spring, because like everybody just fucking dumped it on me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anonymous. Anyway, so we started out with Tunisia, there was Egypt, Libya, then Syria. Syria and Yemen sort of went off at the same time. Yemen just slightly before Syria.
Yeah.
Somebody else went off after Syria. I couldn't keep up with that.
Yeah, it's a bit complex.
I had a point and I've forgotten.
Hello, Chris.
That's okay. Hello, Chris, by the way. You come in late because you had a truck stuck in a farming sim. Well, we've all been there. We've all been there. And that's the
Right.
And again,
I took corners sideways in a bus sim. That was fun.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Put on the parking brake as you're turning and see if I can drift a bus. Because why not? Fuck the passengers. They're not real anyway.
Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift in a bus. Yeah.
Fucking right.
Yeah. And also a good point, as Safa pointed out, another reason
it's safer than when I've done it in the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've done handbrake turns in my car. So, in a bus sim, it's nowhere near as bad.
Yeah. That's what reminds me of the old line, like, I want to die in my sleep like my grandpa, not screaming in terror like the passengers in his bus.
We broke Nettie. We broke Nettie. We broke Nettie.
That's a very old. That's a very old internet joke. Like, I seriously think I first saw that in the 90s on the Usenet group. But
jumped off a cliff at 100 miles an hour.
But it's still good.
Yeah, that'll get your truck stuck. We're talking about getting your truck stuck. It just reminded me of I think it was Bill Engvall talking to, was it Jeff Foxworthy? One of those two. I get them mixed up because they're very similar to each other in their humor. He's talking about people who are really stupid should be made to wear a sign that just says, "I'm stupid." And he's talking about how this truck got wedged under an overpass and the police are all there and the officer's walking up and he's looking at him going, "Oh, he can't say it," but he's just got that look. And sure enough, the copper goes, "Did you get your truck stuck?" And without missing the beat, the driver says, No, I was delivering this overpass and I ran out of gas. Here's your sign.
We've got a bridge like that, and we've got a bridge here and
we do
just down the road.
We have a notorious truck-eating bridge in Melbourne, the Montague Street Bridge.
Yeah,
there was a funny thing. Like,
gone back to normal when someone's stuck under the bridge.
After lockdown, there hadn't been a truck hit the bridge for a while, and then when there was more activity happening, some idiot in the truck ignored the loading and hit it, and people were posting pictures on social media of this truck that's smashed into the bridge, going, "A truck hit the Montague Street Bridge. Nature is healing." And it's like, we're recovering from COVID, back to normal when trucks hit the Montague Street Bridge. There's a website. This is an American one. There's someone who has a view of a low bridge that people in trucks are always hitting. So they just have a webcam pointing out their window at this bridge because
just capture all the carnage.
Every couple of weeks, a truck hits it, and then they just post updates to their YouTube channel. Yep, another one hit it, and just like,
just got a tally board of all the trucks. How many trucks got caught today? Oh, today was a good day. There was only 2 of them got caught under it today.
Oh. And the funny
Usually
thing
it's
is
3 or 4.
A couple of years ago, they put this thing in the lead up to the Montague Street Bridge, these things that hang off an overpass, but they fly freely. Like, So if your truck is too high, you will hit these things that won't particularly damage your truck, but they'll go bong, bong, bong. They'll bounce when you hit
And
them.
they'll give you a fright.
Yeah. But apparently what happens with a certain number of truck drivers is they hit that and hear that loud noise and then spend 10 seconds going, what the hell was that? And then they hit the bridge.
Warning failed. Well, they probably hear that loud noise and then think, I seem to be taller in this chair now. It's got a lot more power.
Yeah.
And what is that smell?
I love that they put this warning thing in and it doesn't work. Like people clearly hit the warning thing and spend about 10 seconds going, what the hell was that? And then they hit the bridge.
At no point do they think, maybe I should apply the brakes.
No, it just like, it doesn't occur to them. They go, what was that noise? Yeah.
Maybe they should put biggest...
The truck drivers are taking that stupidly determined chemical.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. No, I've had more than one. I've had more than one run-in with a messed up truck driver, and it's just like,
not good.
It's just like, no, I cannot slow down. The chemicals in my blood will not allow me to slow down. I've got a 14-hour drive. Again, it's like completely against the law. They're meant to have fucking monitors in the truck that monitor how many hours they drive continuously, but they all still do it.
It's all right. We get to the destination, we pick all the cars and pedestrians out of the grill, and it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
The funniest one I've heard was particularly about the Hume Highway that runs between Sydney and Melbourne. It's like a guide for truck drivers. Well, just get in your truck, get going, and treat that white line down the middle of the road like the hugest line of speed you've ever seen, and just have the nose of your truck going right down that white line in the middle of the road. And if you've ever been on the Hume Highway, that's the thing. Before they did that dual carriageway, it was actually known as the Deadly Hume because whole stretches of this highway between Sydney and Melbourne were only a single lane each way, and psychotic truck drivers were just going up and down it, and there were so many fatalities. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what the Pacific Highway was like for a long time. I don't know what it's like now, but
I haven't been on the Pacific Highway for a while. Yeah.
Pacific Highway all the way up to like Byron Bay, where I went a number of summers. Just one lane each way. Sometimes no curbing and guttering. Oh God.
Yeah.
And bushfires at the same time. Hey, Chris says if you hear a crash, drive faster.
Sounds like advice I heard in the Philippines. Driving is super wild in the Philippines. And the locals I had there, they were like, yeah, there's a kind of a rule, like if you hit a pedestrian, back up over them to make sure they're dead, because then there's only one story when you report the cops. You just go, yeah, I don't know, man. They just ran out onto the road for no reason. And because people do that shit, people do dumb shit. And there's no other contradicting story. The cops go, oh, well, I guess they just ran out onto the road. The
other day I was reading some, you can see them on the internet, insurance claim form statements. They're always good value, The pedestrian had no idea which direction to run, so I ran them over.
Yeah. Yes. There's like they moved left, they moved right, they moved left, but I still hit them. And it's just but even because my ex was in the Philippines and I went over there once to meet her family and whatnot, just in a suburb, okay? And from the house we're living in the suburb, there's a 7-Eleven. There was really only as a one-lane road each way, but there was another sort of area where people could park, but no one parked there. So this thing that in an Australian city would be one lane each way, people managed to turn into essentially 3 lanes each way. And it was just all these people weaving in and out, and like moped couriers just doing suicidal shit going between everything. And there's like, okay, I just want to cross the road and get to the 7-Eleven. And theoretically, it's only one lane each way. But there's a fuckload of traffic just weaving all over the place. And I just want to go over to the 7-Eleven and, buy a Jolt Cola or something. But it's just it's pretty wild.
Jolt. Good old Jolt Cola. What are we going to do about that? We were going to buy some.
No, it's too much sugar. I'm this is me, the fucking no sugar monster. There's like 4 or 5 flavors of no sugar monster energy drink at the moment. Oops, I just dropped.
And combine that with your other consumable hobby, you've definitely got bad decision making juice.
Oh no, that was the one. Haven't seen Charlie for a little while, but yeah, we made that bad decision juice video. Energy drink and spirits is absolutely a recipe for bad decisions. Yeah. It's like, well, that was the old line about the invention of the espresso martini, which is like a vodka drink that has espresso coffee in it. The reputed story is a young supermodel going into a bar in London in the AM and saying to the bartender, just mix me something that'll wake me up and fuck me up. And they had an espresso. They had an espresso machine, so he went.
Up. You want to be awake for it.
Yeah, so he basically just mixed espresso coffee with vodka and went, try that. And she apparently liked it, and the rest is history. The espresso martini became a very popular drink. But yeah, I still kind of like Charlie and I's bad energy, bad decision juice.
I seem to remember saying, like, please delete that video.
We probably do. I mean, I never mind. Every now and then someone does something on a stream and they went, I hope no one sees that. And go, well, look, honestly, no, they're live streams. No one watches them back. If something happens that someone's a bit iffy about, I never have a problem about like privating it or whatnot, because it's just like, whatevs. It's kind of like, one time in ADS's place, boss of the house didn't realize how wide ADS's shot was, and he didn't know he was in the background of the shot. And he's just like, I really don't want to be on that. I went, it's okay, dude. No one ever watches them back. I'll just private it, But yes, you just accept the people who were on that stream.
Yeah.
They got to see you wandering around in the background because you didn't realize how wide the shot of AZ's webcam.
I've actually had some brief interaction with him.
Yeah, no, boss of the house is cool.
Seems okay.
One of us gets famous, and then someone goes trawling through it all.
Oh my god! If anyone ever wanted to, the whole way that bad faith people on the internet take shit out of context. It's just like
we give them
people
plenty
would be
don't we?
So spoiled for choice if they wanted
so
to
much
take
material.
If they wanted to take shit out of context that I'd said. And
I've only got one thing to say to those people though.
Yeah.
Get a fucking life.
Absolutely. I even made a video.
I'm nobody, and I can't be bothered doing that shit because I've got more of a life than that.
Yeah. I made a video, it was ages, God, who knows how long, 5-10 years ago. But it's like, oh yeah, like somebody was upset that, they said that on a video, you said that person was an inbred piece of shit and they should fucking die. And that's a terrible negative thing. And I went, okay, context, because you're taking it out of context. It's important that I put that statement into context. The context is that was a horrible piece of shit that I wanted to die. And it's just like...
Well, is there anything wrong with wishing...
The comments I got on that were gold because they thought, oh my God, I thought you were going to do an absolute cop-out because you did this whole thing about context. But then you said the only context was you hated them and you wanted them to die.
Look, is it so wrong to hate someone like Peter Dutton?
Oh no!
For
Did you
example.
see the video again?
Like
The
obviously,
spud with eyes.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like obviously, we don't condone murder, even of something that's barely human like that creature.
Yeah.
But if he stopped existing, how many of us would miss him?
No, not at all. There was a bit of video that
Just
I
saying.
sort of
Just saying.
retweeted on Twitter where I pointed out, look,
Some Christian, yeah.
I'm not the hugest fan of Albanese specifically or the Labor Party generally, but this bit of video in Question Time where Albanese's talking and Dutton tries to interject and Albanese's going, no, I'm talking, and Albanese and Dutton goes blah blah blah, and Albanese goes, sit down, buffhead. And I went, okay, honestly, I'm not
Fair
the
enough.
greatest fan of Labor generally or Albanese specifically, but sit down, buffhead should be their election campaign.
Yeah.
That should be the official campaign slogan, and that goes for the entire LNP. Sit down, buffhead.
Is there anything more Australian? Oh my god!
No, and that's
brilliant.
clearly what Albo is going. I hate using their self-appointed nicknames. But that's clearly what Albanese is going for. He's upping his working class union background, which is legit. He's going to be the Aussie bloke, and because he's Labor have realised, a significant chunk of the population have recognised Morrison is a fucking liar and not to be trusted. So Albo's just going to be Aussie bloke and get a bit more angry and go on. So I think the next federal election campaign might actually be fun. It might be fun because I think Labor's going to go, oh yeah, no, our angle is Morrison is a liar and a shifty bastard and untrustworthy. And Albo's going to be super Aussie bloke and say shit like sit down, buffhead. And it's going to be fun. It's just going to be fun.
Like, remember Keating? He just had some great comebacks, and it made him, even though he did some stuff, financially.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, he was a neo-lib. Yeah.
Yeah, but he had the great working class comeback for just about anything. Okay, I'm getting a drink.
Could do it. So Flat Earth Video Gamer knows we're all paid actors in Argentina because Australia's fake. And again, you are definitely on to us. You have found us out. The fact that we all have the same accent is a ruse. It's just a ruse.
Oh, well, I mean, you've got to give credit where it's due, though. I know personally, I have fucking mastered the accent. Anyone would think it was real.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, if God help us if I talk in my natural sounding fucking voice.
Yeah. So I love Bob.
If that isn't proof that I'm not good at accents, what fucking is?
Yeah. Bob Fungus on Twitch, who's also an Aussie, doing the classic. What's the meme? The movie.
Not getting paid fucking enough, mate. I know that.
You guys are getting paid. Which is a classic internet meme. Or meme, as the French call it. I just love saying.
Do you know where meme
shit.
came from? The term.
It was
very old term. It was around in biblical times.
Is it that old? I know it's
the term meme came from antomeme. It actually came up in a sermon, believe it or not.
No, I believe it. Tell us.
Yeah. There's all that long context, but it was actually the sermon was around a piece of around a gospel reading that when Jesus was asked about paying taxes, and he was using Aristotle as an to answer the question in a way that would incriminate himself, because prior to Jesus there had been Jewish rebellion leaders, who are saying don't pay your taxes to the Romans. Now, surprise, surprise, he and his followers were executed brutally.
Yeah.
And Jesus was waiting a little while before he took his execution. So when they said, should we pay taxes to the emperor? He said, bring me a denarius, because he didn't have one. It was unlawful for the Jews to have a denarius because it had the head of the emperor who was a god against their faith, blah, 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 right?
Yes.
And he says, bring me a denarius. One of the religious leaders brings him one, says, whose head's on this? And he said, well, the emperor's. He said, well, give to God what is God and give to the emperor what is emperor's. So everyone's amazed by this. Now, the people of the time would have known exactly what he was saying, but they couldn't incriminate him with it. Everyone thinks, oh, well, he's clearly saying you should pay your taxes. He's actually not.
Yeah.
He's actually saying, well, everything is God's. Everything is surrounded by God, soaked in God, etc., etc. Everything is God. So give to God what is God's, everything, and give to Caesar what is Caesar's, nothing. Very clever.
Yeah. Render unto. Sorry. And Abigail, that's the thing I remember as well. Richard Dawkins referring to mimetic viruses in his book, The Selfish Gene. And he fucking hates that meme became a term that was meant internet joke. Basically, he hated that his reference to meme as a mimetic virus became, it literally just meant internet joke. But also, Richard Dawkins turned out to be a complete fucking tool. So anything that upsets him is funny in my book.
Sorry, I was saying it wrong. It's anthememe.
Yeah. It's
a figure of reasoning in which one or more statements of syllogism is left out of the configuration, and abbreviated syllogism or truncated deductive argument in which one or more premises or conclusion are omitted. So basically it's and meme, of course, because that's got the little bit of an inside joke. Memes are relevant to things that people just understand, but they don't spell it out for you. So there you go. History of meme, where it came from.
History,
and of all places to learn that, I learned it at church.
Nice. And in modern terms, it essentially means
and Laura would like
something that's circulated amongst people in a viral way. And yes, Laura, you may join us. I will repost the link.
It was going to come up sooner or later. I might as well bring it up.
We've still got 20 minutes before I'm going to go to bed. So why not? Okay, so in the modern usage of the term, I think you are correct, Abigail. Richard Dawkins coined it in the modern sense of an idea that is transmitted. I thought I hit enter. Micro ASB's making fun of me. No one gets a link. There you go.
Two of them.
Just needs the evil laugh to follow.
Yes. So yes, Richard Dawkins used it in the context of an idea that just kind of spreads virally in a community. But he had a slightly more intellectual take than internet jokes. And from what I understand, he fucking hates that meme has come to mean internet jokes. But also, fuck that guy, because he is a piece of shit, quite honestly. He's bigoted and misogynist and self-absorbed. Fuck that guy. So the same reason I tend to not, primarily identify as, atheist is people like Dawkins. Probably the same reason with nobody wouldn't want to identify with American televangelists.
Those guys are just frauds.
It's the same shit. And and here's Laura. Hello, Laura.
Good morning. Hi there. Sorry, I literally just got up, so I'll probably look for
That's fair. So Abigail's saying mim comes from a suitable Greek root. When a monosyllabic sounds a bit like gene. I always say meme. If it's any consolation, could be thought of related to memory. French word meme, which ran cream. I'm joking when I say mimi. I still have a T-shirt. I haven't worn it in ages, but it just says in text like it's pronounced meme, not meme. And of course, you can't do pronunciations in text, so the T-shirt could mean anything. Like it says it's pronounced meme, not meme.
I think Micro's compliment.
Yeah. Micro just got up and feels like he looks like shit compared to you. So there you go.
Did you mentioned Richard Dawkins? It just so happens
did.
that he's been in sort of a little bit in the news over the last day.
Ooh, what's he been doing?
He signed the WHRC Declaration on Women's Sex Rights, which is basically a bunch of TERFs who want to take away trans people's rights.
I was about to say, sounds like turf bullshit to me.
Yep. So banning trans care, banning transfer kids, not allowing me to go to the ladies' bathroom, all those sorts of things.
Yep.
I've got my Transcend T-shirt on today.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Very cool.
With a big fingerprint.
It's a group for parents of trans children.
Mm.
Very, very important thing. Very good movement. That.
There we go.
And Kitty.
Okay. Sorry, I just had a thing weird shit happening with my bank account that I had to fix.
You know, there's something I've seen on the internet that always sort of makes me chuckle. And it's when, you're sort of having like a deep conversation, sometimes contentious kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the phrase, you can't bring a cat into a knife fight. It's like, whoa, hang on. You've got to derail it now by having a cute cat.
Yeah.
But
you can't.
They are rather pointy.
Yeah. But it's more the idea that it's easy for me to challenge you and not like your opinion and be forceful, and then you chuck a cat into the mix, and it's like, whoa, hang on, this is unfair.
Fair enough.
You're unfair, Zorro. You understand that?
Oh no, I mean there's no contentious issue.
He wants to be right there. He wants to be right there.
Yeah.
This is his spot. And he's pissed off. He does this when I'm having telehealth meetings with doctors and stuff. One time he turned around and showed the doctor his asshole.
The focus isn't on me. There's something wrong here. The focus isn't on me. What's going on here? The focus absolutely should be on me. I'm the cat. I'm the important one. Yeah. What's the fucking deal?
Right.
I thought I actually saw a thing that made me laugh where someone says, how would you describe a libertarian? And someone responded, they're house cats. They are sure they are the supreme commander of everything, but they are actually completely dependent upon a system which they completely fail to understand. And I thought, oh, that's pretty accurate.
There's truth in those words, all right.
That was on my newsfeed.
Yeah, okay. We've got the same newsfeed, Nettie. But yeah, it was pretty good. I thought, yeah, no, that's actually, and I also would want to quantify that on sort of modern internet self-described libertarians are fucking morons. Like someone who has been adhering to libertarian stuff for a couple of decades is probably not going to be as bad, but the dickhead bros on the internet who call themselves libertarian are usually just self-absorbed shitheads who don't want any rules to apply to them. And so house cats, basically. Yeah.
House cats. Yeah.
House cats.
There is this amazing house cat called Friendly Noodle.
Friendly Noodle. Okay.
Friendly Noodle. And he is so gorgeous. He's got these amazing, he's got these eyes that have like a ring of silver around them. So they look even rounder and bigger than they really are. And and he's got this very dark face, and he's extremely fluffy puffy. And
Okay.
so he looks like he looks like a toy. He doesn't look real, but he moves. He's always shocked. He's always incredibly shocked. He's the best cat on the internet, I swear. And I know to judge these things. I was a follower of Grumpy Cat. I was a follower
Yeah.
of Winston. If you don't know Winston, Winston was a good cat. And Mr. Safety's cat. You know, so
that's
I
a
know.
Sparta was an awesome cat.
Sparta, that's right. Sparta.
I
I mean,
think-
oh man, that must have been horrible when Sparta went.
Well, that's the thing. We forget how much time has passed. Like Mr. Safety's been on YouTube for 17
long
years.
time.
I've been on YouTube for 16 years. So yeah, when he had Sparta, when Sparta was quite young, and the Mean Kitty song, I think, still qualifies as the most viewed cat video on YouTube.
It was very well made.
Cat memes are how I taught Ali how to read.
Nice.
Well, it works.
Not very good for spelling.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. No, again, it's why
Well, that's
I
clever,
hate.
though, 'cause it's
I
finding
hate.
interest.
I hate people who belittle any sort of form of thing that lets someone read, whether it's comic books. For me, when I was younger, because I never read books, and I was in the local library, because I used to just read, like picture books, like Asterix or whatever. And I don't know why, but I saw this thing on the shelf was Action Man novels. Action Man was a toy. It was the British G.I. Joe. Action Man was the British G.I. Joe. And there's some novelizations, so basically war stories. And I thought, I like Action Man. And I read them, and I liked reading them. And I read a few of them, and they happened to be right on the shelf. I noticed they had Doctor Who books, which I thought was amazing because I watched Doctor Who, and there are books as well. And so I started reading Doctor Who books. And then the librarian had noticed me picking up the various books, and she said, I think you'd like this book. It's called The Hobbit. Which then led me to reading The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. And I got into reading like serious weighty books. But never fucking criticize whatever gets someone reading, whether it's memes or comics or trash. When people say like, oh no, the Twilight books are trash, don't read. No, if it gets someone to read, it's a good thing, because you read one thing, you might read another thing. So I'm a big believer.
Yeah, I got into reading when my mum refused to read me my Enid Blyton books.
Oh no!
And I got the shits, and I said, "Well, fuck you! I'll read them myself then."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read some Enid Blyton books. I think my older siblings had them. There were these slightly more obscure Enid Blyton books about household pets called Bimbo and Topsy. They're about dogs that were someone's household pet. I know, Bimbo is just like brilliant. But there were also these books that I think had been my older brother's called Just William. And he's like the English version of Dennis the Menace. And I read a bunch of these Just William books. It was just some like boy who gets into all this trouble. And I really enjoyed them. And just so like, man, never criticize whatever someone's reading, no matter how trashy you think it is. They're reading something. So just let them read it. So it's just Nettie, you went off to investigate weird noises. Must be okay.
It's Scruffles. She digs in the she gets frustrated and she digs the couch.
Oh, I have this thing like where my computer desk is, because this is my laptop in the kitchen that I do these streams on. But I have a desktop that I do like all my video editing and shit on, and it's in the lounge room. and there's curtains around it, and the cats, particularly Shadow, like to get in behind the curtains to the window where they get some sunshine with no air and they sleep. And then Shadow sleeps and breathes like an asthmatic. So I'm sitting at my computer and I hear this weird fucking noise going. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's the fucking cat behind the curtain. So Laura's sharing something with us. What is it, Laura?
You said grumpy cat.
Yeah. I'm gonna hide it. That's probably gonna get me a fucking copyright thing.
Really?
No, it's the smallest thing. The smallest thing on YouTube. Their content matching is brutal.
Just turn it upside down.
Yeah, and put it through a filter.
If
that
you
type
turn
of
the
stuff.
thing upside down, they won't notice.
But I remember doing one. It's a bit of viral video about kangaroos in a suburb, and I was talking about it, and I just had like a little thing up in the corner of this video of a kangaroo bouncing around through a very densely populated suburb, and it got a content match, and it's like, well, okay, fuck that then.
Well, you didn't turn it upside down.
No, I
Turning
didn't.
it upside
I didn't
down works.
I bet it does. Also, putting it through a filter probably works. So I normally do stuff like that now.
And there's another trick. You put what do they call like margins? You know, like a picture of a dog on either side, like that.
Yeah.
And have the main thing in the middle.
Yeah, but often, like with thumbnails and shit, when I'm doing videos, I'll find an image online. I thought, I don't want any shit, so I'll flip the image, which is going to confuse the content match. But it's just, sorry, now I've got the hiccups. Yeah, so I don't know. I might. It's funny whenever I think about doing YouTube videos again, I thought I actually don't want to do the shouty videos again, but I might do some where I just sort of sit and say calmly, "Here's why Peter Dutton's a piece of shit."
Do we have enough time? I mean, there's just so many things.
Yeah, I know. You do. Yeah, that's a whole series of videos. It's why Peter Dutton fucking sucks.
But remember, that was his predecessor. Do you remember Philip Ruddock?
Who, sorry?
Remember him? Philip Ruddock.
Oh, Ruddock. Yeah, no. Whoever the LNP.
I don't know which one's worse.
No. Whoever the LNP put in foreign affairs is going to be a piece of fucking shit. It's just a rule. I mean, I don't reckon Dutton would last 5 seconds. Like, why does the federal LNP aggressively resist a federal ICAC? Kinda, it feels like, because they're all fucking corrupt. I mean, that seems like the main reason they'd resist it. But honestly, Safa, he might sue me. Again, he can win whatever cases he likes. Doesn't mean he's not a piece of shit. I would just say speculation. I think if there was any serious criminal investigation into Dutton's transition from the Queensland Police Force to politics, I don't think he'd survive it. I'm just saying if there was a proper criminal investigation. I mean, I'm not alleging he's a criminal. I just think if there was a proper criminal investigation into his transition from the Queensland Police to politics, I think he might be in a spot of bother. That's all I'm saying. I'd leave it open.
That's why they need a federal ICAC, and they've been saying that for 20 years at least.
Yeah. Here's a question for you. It's a joke.
Yeah.
And it's a dad type joke, so it'll go down well.
Yes.
What do you call two crows standing together?
I don't know.
Attempted murder.
There you go. Thought that's might have been where you're going. But
for those people who don't know, it's called a murder of crows when you have a bunch of them together.
I love the collective nouns for birds generally, but particularly for the birds in those related ones. Like it's a murder of crows, a parliament of rooks. I think it's a sadness of magpies.
Really? How fucking goth is that?
I'm gonna
I
go.
love it. A murder of crows and a sadness of magpies.
Collective
That's
nouns
Aussie
for
goth.
birds. Okay, so collective noun. Okay, collective nouns for animals. Here's a collection. A shrewdness of apes, colony of bats, a clouder of cats. That's weird.
Crowder, yes.
A murder of crows. Let's see, a pod of dolphins, a paddling of ducks. That's nice. A cast of falcons, a business of ferrets.
A bunch of bastards of pigeons.
A bunch of bastard pigeons. Yeah, I'm on board with that. A knot of frogs. Brace of grouse. Now I want to find magpies. Oh, it's a tiding of magpies. There you go. A parliament of it's a parliament of owls and a parliament of rooks. A berry of rabbits. That's pretty weird. A murmuration of starlings. That's those flight formations, starling form, that look trippy as fuck. They're called murmurations. Yeah. A fail of woodcocks. Well, that's harsh. That's
Here's a comical bird picture for you. It's like, ooh.
So what's that doing? Ah, kiwis. Nice.
Kiwis are so cute. I love
Kiwis eating kiwi fruit.
I downloaded a whole bunch of animal pictures just because I thought it was cute.
Puma pants. It's an interesting thing. Not everyone knows there's actually a few different sorts of kiwis, and the different breeds are extremely different sizes. They go from adults being this big to adults being this big. There's quite a diverse.
Oh my god, what's happening?
That's a real photo. What happened was
it got lost.
Effectively, what happened was it started swimming up the river until there wasn't much river left.
Yeah. Well, that's what things swimming up rivers. That's the thing that used to happen in the west of Sydney before there were environmental laws. Oh God, that's going to make me yawn.
It's the tongue at the end, does it?
Before there were environmental laws, there were small good factories in Parramatta that used to just pump blood and offal into the Parramatta River, which would, because the Parramatta River fed straight into Sydney Harbour, and the blood would trail in, and that would attract sharks all the way up to Parramatta. And there were all these stories of people walking their dog and throwing a stick in the river, and the dog swimming out in the river, and the dog suddenly disappearing because a shark took it. But there you go. A turtle.
I wonder if that's what happened. My great-grandfather, okay, a few grandfathers back, he drowned in the Parramatta River.
Well, it's perfectly possible to just drown in the river, but yeah, back in the day, sharks were an actual risk because there was a small good factory in Parramatta that literally just dumped blood and offal into the river, which would attract sharks. Hi.
It could have. Yeah, because it was all the big mystery. Like, what the hell happened to him?
Yeah.
He went for a swim and he never came back in Parramatta River. Oh!
Yeah, like Harold Holt. Surprised cat.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's real or if someone just got eyeshadow and gave the cat eyebrows.
No, it's real.
Because I have seen ones. There are some hilarious photos where it's like dad left at home to look after the baby, and he's got into mum's makeup, and he's given the baby angry eyebrows, and then taken a series of photos, and every different expression of the baby's face with these angled eyebrows. It just looks ridiculous. Also, puzzles.
That
Puzzles
thing with the
wearing
baby
hats.
and the eyebrows. Like,
Oh,
I have this friend who won Miss Leather Pride every year, right?
Of
Even when
course.
she was pregnant, and she has like eyebrows, right? Her name's DJ Wally,
Oh,
and
nice.
Wilhelmina had her baby, and those pictures of that baby with the
Yeah.
eyebrows were like, Wally, is this your baby?
That's great. All right.
We found your baby.
This one reminds me of the fanboys from Monsters Inc. And it's like, you're making it worse.
Yes. Nice. All right. It's actually bedtime. So I'm going to kill that. And gonna go to bed. So see all you fine people anon, probably on Thursday night. So you'll take care in the meantime. And